Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I got yet another spooky movie review, and today I got Terrifier 2. This movie was rated a 6.1 on IMDb, but me personally, I think this is a solid 7 out of 10 movie. But if we are talking slashers, which this film specifically is, I think this is not quite a 10 out of 10. I think this is a 9 or a 9.5. It's a really good overall slasher. But there were still moments that I did not care for in the movie, but that's alright. But let's talk about this movie in more depths. I did not think it was going to be possible for it to be more gruesome than the previous Terrifier, but it delivered in that aspect, at least in my opinion. I think that overall there's probably less blood, but the blood that we saw was more gruesome. It was more of it at once when we saw the blood, compared to, it seemed like there was so many more moments of just blood in the first one. But there were a lot of great kills throughout this movie. A lot of great and funny moments throughout this movie, specifically Art's interactions with specific characters throughout this movie. I think it's a really good slasher, and I think it's a pretty solid movie. It's definitely one of those where I can understand why it has such a cult-like following to it, Terrifier specifically, because of how gruesome it is, and there are a lot of people who absolutely love that. And once again, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I still have had enjoyment with watching so far these two movies. And I also got Terrifier 3 to watch, and then I'm hoping next week, because I'm technically behind on a day, because I technically am I'm just one day behind. So at some point this next week, I'll have 2 horror movie videos out in one day, so I can kind of still have the full amount of days still in October that I post the scary movie videos. But this movie, once again, was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this series. It's finding different movies that I've never watched before that are horror related, because I consider myself a horror movie fan, but I just took a big break from watching a lot of horror movies. So I'm using this month to catch up on that, and this is one of the reasons why I've done it, because of how pretty interesting this movie is. It has some great interactions between different characters. I love the movie kind of following more of the brother and sister. I love that. I love that it also has touches to the previous movie. I love that throughout the movie. It makes it more enjoyable. It makes it connect better with that specific previous movie. There was moments and at different times in the movie where it had this feeling of almost like you couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't. And I felt like, at least for me, that's what I love to see. Is I love to see moments like that, where you are questioning what you're seeing on your TV or on your phone or whatever you're watching it. And it makes a movie that more interesting when it has those moments. I think Art was once again really good. I love the fact that he is silent, and even in laughter, he's quiet. And I don't know, I think that's kind of enjoyable. It's kind of like stereotypical for most slashers to kind of have a silent killer. But I think it's kind of interesting because Art, you see all his facial expressions and stuff. So he is speaking, but specifically through body language, which I think is kind of interesting in comparison to like your Michael Myers films or your Jason Voorhees films or your Freddy Krueger films. those movies specifically, I sometimes feel like you lose something because you don't see fully their facial expressions. Not so much with Freddy, but still, I feel like with Freddy, it's sometimes you still lose that, but it's still like the insaneness that is art in this movie, because he went after a kid. He cut a kid. That was wild to me, because you don't often see that. You often see the kids are unharmed in a movie, and I think that makes a movie like even more insane when you do happen to see a kid get killed. It is one of the things you don't see that often, but when it does happen, I feel like it's pretty overall crazy to see, and it's definitely unsettling for sure, because you don't expect it. But one of my favorite character interactions in this movie was when the mom and the daughter were arguing, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the mom was talking to the daughter about what she thought her son did to her car. And then it turned to her talking about how she thought her daughter was drinking. So it kind of led to a little bit of an argument. And then they had an exchanging of I loves you, and just having like a heart-to-heart moment where they both kind of had this like thought of, we're both stressed about the dad / husband passing away, and they know that they're all going through a lot, so it garners a lot of sympathy for the mother to pretty much turn around and pass away. It was a really touching moment that I liked, but I kind of knew what was going to happen afterwards, but it was still enjoyable. The best kill in the movie was for sure Art, which I know technically he did not die, because we saw him at the end of the movie where he was somehow alive again. I will go into no details about that, because I'm not gonna lie, I did not like that part. I was like, oh, this is really weird, but besides that, it was still enjoyable. But it was by far not even the most gruesome kill of the movie. That goes to Allie. She got brutalized. It felt uneasy. I genuinely felt my stomach turning. I did not like it. Like, I liked it because it was gruesome, but at the same time, I didn't like it. It was a lot. It ramped up the gruesomeness specifically for this movie because of that one kill. How gruesome it was, and how he pretty much tortured her. She was still kicking and still kicking and still kicking. Oh my goodness. It was definitely like intense to watch. And I'm not going to be surprised if I see that more in the third movie. And I love the fact that in this movie specifically, it still is in the time frame of the last movie, because you do see where they mention the survivor from the first movie attacking the reporter on live television. So it keeps within that time frame, and that makes the movie more enjoyable, because you can connect the movies together. And I'm interested in seeing how they will do that with the next movie, Terrifier 3, and I don't know if they plan on making more, but if they plan on making more, I will keep watching them for sure, because it's not a bad series by any means, and it will have to be one that I will eventually go back and rewatch again. I'll probably end up showing this to a few other people, because I know some people who like slasher films, and who most likely may have not have seen this movie, but I think with it being within that time frame of the first movie, even after being a very long time since the first movie, was really enjoyable, and it made that movie even a little bit better. But that's pretty much it for today's video, me reviewing of my review of Terrifier 3, or 2, not 3. Oh my goodness. But anyway, if you have any horror movies or any wrestling anything wrestling related you want me to talk about or review, let me know down in the comments below. Oh my goodness. Shortly after this video starts to be published and stuff, I will be making a review for Bad Blood. So if anyone is watching this one and you're wondering and waiting for the review of Bad Blood, that is coming a little bit later today. But that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you have a great rest of your day.